welcome to Shelby Parks and Rec in the News. I'm Joe Youngblood. With me is Mike Adams from the Parks and Recreation Department. Mike, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great. We'll be keeping all of our residents updated with all of our latest activities, programs, special events, and anything from our sports leagues and anything in Shelby Township Parks. Now, Mike, we have a very special event coming up. Spring's here. It's 81 degrees out
Summer's
today.
here.
Summer's here, right. We'll go from winter to summer.
Yep, 2 days.
No in between. Yeah, exactly. We have the 28th annual Youth Fishing Derby coming up at the Heritage Garden Lake. What a wonderful family event. Tell us more about this.
Yep, not a major change, minor change for this year is the time. I think for the 27 years, it's been at 9 o'clock. We have a new starting time of 10 o'clock, so mom, dad, grandma, grandpa who bring the kids can sleep in an extra hour. So I think that's a good change.
And we're going to have the lake stocked again?
Lake will be stocked. The fish will be planted on a date that I'm not going to release. So it'll be a surprise. And we are getting some bass, pike, and some good-sized catfish planted like we usually do. So hopefully those fish we've been planting for the last couple of years will have grown, and we'll get some good catches this year.
It's Saturday, June 7th.
Saturday, June 7th from 10 to 1 o'clock.
Now, the other day I was down by the lake, and we always have people calling our office asking about what types of fish are in there and what size of fish. I saw a fish in there had to be the largest bass I've ever seen. Now, I'm not a huge fisherman. I enjoy recreational, once in a while fishing. But the bass was very thick and long. And my question to you, Mike, is it this time of year where the mom would be laying eggs?
There could be some nests out there with some of the different species.
Because for it to be so large.
Well, there's some big bass in there. I've seen some 4.5 pound largemouth caught in there. And then remember a couple years ago we were walking, we see some pretty big catfish in the rocks in that back corner.
Yes.
Which is a hot spot.
I mean, the catfish had to be 20 inches long.
Oh, easily.
Or I'm sorry, we had the catfish, but also the goldfish. Remember the goldfish from the carp family? Yeah,
we've seen a goldfish in there, and as I always mentioned, there was a report 2 years ago that there was a 12.5 pound catfish caught out of there.
Okay.
So they are big. Hopefully we can get some good catches this year.
Good. And we do get calls on the Heritage Lake if people need a fishing license. Well, for the day of the event, since it's the DNR
free fishing weekend.
Correct. They try to promote free fishing there. But any other time, ages 12 and under does not need a license. Older than the age of 12, you would need a fishing license for your child and for an adult if they're fishing with them. We'd like to thank our sponsors. We have Kirk Huth Lang and Badalamenti, also the Detroit area Steelheaders, and Dr. Ban Barbette from the dentist's office. So thank you very much to our sponsors. Mike, anything special that the families need to bring?
Yep, they should definitely bring their own tackle, their own rods, reels, lures, hooks. We will provide some limited bait, but if they have their own bait, most people have their little secrets of what they like to bring. They should bring their own bait. I do want to mention we do have 4 different age categories, so you're not going to have a 4-year-old going up against the skills of a seasoned 16-year-old. So we do have 4 different age categories, but that's about the basics they'll need. Some days it can be very hot, even though it's early June. You should bring sunblock. As you've seen, the pond gets crowded and there's not always areas of shade, so sunblock would be good and something to drink.
Very good. 28th Annual Youth Fishing Derby. Hope to see everybody there for this wonderful free event. Right around the corner is the 2014 Summer Concert Series right here in Shelby Township. At this time, we'll go through the dates of the wonderful artists that we have lined up. Wednesday, July 9th at 7 o'clock p.m., the Square Pegs, high-energy music from the 80s and 90s. Wednesday, July 16th at 7 o'clock p.m., Marley Reedville Band. This party band complimenting Bob Marley and Jimmy Buffett. And Wednesday, July 30th at 7:30 p.m., we have Nashville recording artist Justine Blazer doing country rock. Mike, we have a couple names are familiar. Yep. Square Pegs is one of the highest ratings we've ever had as far as the amount of people that showed up, the amount of emails and calls. So I advise you the Square Pegs, and then of course the Marley Reedville Band. That's a very big draw.
Very well known.
Yep, they come out every year. They'll be at Art Fair and so on and so forth. Now, the last one on July 30th, Justine Blazer coming up from Nashville. So, you know, when she's coming up, what type of country singers they have down there. So we're very excited about Justine Blazer coming up. She actually has performed the national anthem, Mike, at a couple NFL games, the Indianapolis Colts, and so on and so forth. And we did see here, we do a demo where we get to review it. And I think she's the real deal. So I look forward to having a country singer we haven't had up in a while.
Yeah, it sounds like I think it's a little bit better. In years past, people have expected us to have many concerts.
Right.
I think condensing it and having quality
Yes.
acts, as you see, like you said about the square pegs, the attendance was
Oh, I know.
unbelievable there. So I
Get
think
the crowd involved,
Oh, yeah.
80s music.
people would rather see the quality of these acts, and she should be really good.
Very good. Also, winding down our summer events here, we have the Kids Day at Riverbends Park, which is Wednesday, July 23rd. This is a continuation of our Wednesday evening programs. And that's just a wonderful event. We'll have more information as we get closer to the Kids Day program. And also, Mike, on July 12th, we have the Kids Summer Olympics. This is another free event for Shelby residents here. And that's a great way for kids to stay active. And some of the kids we know end up going to track and field after participating in our field day.
Yeah, it's a real fun event. We have some of the events that they have at the Real Olympics, as well as some fun events too, like the obstacle course, which has over the years been a favorite of the kids.
It is one of the funnest ones that they have.
It's fun watching the 3 and 4-year-olds trying to get over the wall. It's pretty entertaining, and
Exactly. They have a
some of the
great
older
time.
kids that have done it once or twice now can do it quicker, and they enjoy that as well. So obstacle course is great, and then they do the 40-yard dash, the hurdles, disc toss, a whole bunch of great events. So the kids really enjoy it.
And this has been going on since 1996. Kids Day.
18th,
That
yeah.
was the year that the Olympics were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Now, Mike, we have, switching gears to some more active sports. We have Little League Baseball going on right now. Things are up and running very smooth. Summer baseball haven't started yet, about the third week of July.
Yep.
We have some openings left in that. What are divisions we have and what is available?
Pretty much pretty close to what we offer right now. We have everything from T-ball up to age 16 for the boys.
Good.
We have girls softball, our normal coach pitching machine leagues. Ages differ just a little bit. Sometimes we have to adjust because we don't have the exact numbers we have for the spring. But we're taking registration right now. There's openings in all the divisions right now. But as the spring season winds down, that's when we start to see these divisions fill up. So the people that are currently playing now, a lot of them play both seasons, and people wait till they're done and the league's filled up. So they can give us a call now. They're all set for the summer, which runs, like you said, third week of July till just around Labor Day, I think we ended up last year. So if you like baseball, you can be playing April through Labor Day here in Shelby Township.
Good. And speaking of baseball, Mike, I think it'd be a good time to talk about our new venture we have here in Shelby Township, girls softball. We're very excited to join forces with Extra Innings baseball facility. So we have a new league starting this fall, and it's going to be Shelby Township Parks and Rec and Extra Innings softball league. So we're going to have all the Bat Buster teams that play in that division will be coming in. They have a couple of different divisions, and we're very excited about this. It's nice to be affiliated with the top baseball group, softball group in Michigan, which is the Bat Busters, and also Dan Bytel and Extra Innings. Mike, I think this is going to be a great move for us, and looking forward to all of a sudden having one of the best softball programs around.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very positive. People enjoy playing on our fields. I think we're going to have a draw from
Well, we'll be at Lombardo Park, exactly
right.
Lombardo.
Lombardo Park, and I think the draw is going to go further outside of just the small Metro Detroit area. We're told teams might be coming from Canada.
Right.
And I think it's just going to be a positive move for everybody.
Yeah, and also, you know, mentioned teams coming from all over, but we have anyone is welcome right here from Shelby Township. We'd love to have as many young ladies as we can in Shelby Township join in the league, and we'll have more information as we proceed. But I tell you, Mike, this is very exciting news.
Yeah, instead of having 6 teams play in this league that plays in Farmington and 6 teams that play out north, sounds like they're all going to come together and combine and hopefully all play at Lombardo Park, which we'll love.
Right, all teams in Shelby Township and surrounding come to Lombardo Park as opposed to driving up to Port Huron for a game the following week, like you said, in Farmington, and driving, they'll just go to one central location.
And people have been expressing that to us for years now, how they just don't like driving to Port Huron one day and then Southgate the next day, where more centralized location and Just really good location. Obviously, Lombardo Park is great, perfect fit for these girls.
And we'll have different divisions set up because
Yep.
from the recreation end, the majority of girls have gone on to travel ball, whether they were travel ball girls or not. A lot of girls moved on to play.
Yep.
And one thing about the travel ball, there's a great purpose for travel ball because some of the girls definitely need to be there. But some of the girls, as we mentioned, aren't that caliber, but we'll have different divisions for that.
Yeah.
At least a couple divisions in the fall, just to put them in the right division.
The range of these girls, as we know over the years, is so wide. So I think the divisioning of the different levels is a really positive experience. Yeah.
So there you have exciting news here at Shelby Parks and Rec. The Shelby Parks and Recreation Extra Innings Softball League coming. First taste of it will be this fall, and it'll be in our next newsletter coming out, and looking real forward to this great venture, and always excited to have new programs brought to our residents here in Shelby Township. Mike, anything else to add? We got the Pee Wee soccer up and running, and if someone's looking for soccer for our Shelby Parks and Rec, we have the spring, summer, and fall. So we'll have more information in the next newsletter, correct?
Yeah, the spring just started up. The summer we've been advertising for a couple months, but we still have room left in that. And if you don't want to play when it's 90 degrees out, we do have the fall session too, which is August, September, October, and that seems to be the most popular because some people, like I said, just don't like the summer, or they're playing baseball or something else. So we have soccer all year round, except for winter, obviously, and they can sign up.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it. And right after these messages, we'll be right back with the very excitable Carrie Crozier from the Shadbush Burgess Nature Center.
Special thanks to Larry Davis Capital Management for sponsoring one of our Shelby Township Little League teams.
Hello and welcome back to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. At this time, we have the one and only Carrie Crozier from the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center. Carrie's been with the township, Carrie, how many years now?
34 and counting.
34 and counting. And Carrie, he brings a real nice dimension to our entire department. He's greatly enthused about what he does. He has a true passion for the Nature Center. And as you can see, if you've seen him on the shows in the past, Carrie, thanks for being on the show and with your insight and all your years of being here in the township. And your knowledge, outdoor knowledge, and knowledge with the animals. It's something very special, and I think that's kind of just goes for your love of nature.
I do tend to get excited, Joe, when we talk about nature, especially when you're dealing with
Tell
kids.
you love it, yeah.
You deal with kids, and they're feeding off that excitement, and it works for me.
Very good.
It's all good.
Now, Carrie, before we get into one of the animals that you brought with you, recently we had the Heron Festival over at Holland Ponds. And just give us a little background on the herons over there. I know we have quite a few nests. A lot of people don't realize if they look over to the west off of Ryan Road, you got something very special over there.
It was our third annual Heron Fest. We had between 50 and 100 people. Had a great time. We actually trapped some birds in the morning. Not herons, obviously, but songbirds. And geez, I can't even name them all, Joe. We had a non-native oriole there, a native oriole there. We had, geez, the list goes on and on. Bluebirds, we were catching them, and we actually showing them to the children. And
How
after
were you catching them?
It's called a mist net.
Okay.
And bird banders use these mist nets to catch them, and they're not lethal, they're not damaging the bird at all. They're real fine, like silk, you know. And after we'd catch the birds, you know, the interpreter would talk about the birds. When he's all done, he'd set the bird upside down in their hands, and sometimes they'd sit there for like 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Just a wild
just
bird.
laying there. Yeah. And the kids got the biggest kick out of that part. It was just awesome. Huh. Cool.
That is really cool.
A lot of turtles, a lot of waterfowl over there. We had some people note the fact that they weren't seeing a lot of herons at the nests that are kind of close to Ryan Road, but we've lost a lot of those nests due to storm damage. But what they didn't understand was they built more nests in the back along the river.
Yeah, you can see them down by the river. Yeah.
There's 20 plus nests down there. And
So the nest up front was for Mother Nature?
pretty much the ice storms and high winds. Plus the herons usually build nests in trees that are in water. So the trees die eventually through the water flooding, through the fecal matter that the birds leave, you know, and then they become unstable, root masses get weak, high winds topple them down. It's an evolutionary thing, it's going on. We also seen a white great egret over there, which is like a cousin to the heron, only white, and that was kind of neat that day. So it was a good day, a very good day.
Very good. So everyone had a good time at the Heron Festival, and we do that yearly. So
Yep.
look forward to the Heron Festival again next year. Now, Carrie, we have many different animals over at the Nature Center. I'm not sure what you brought today as a special guest, but I see you have some paperwork over there. And before we get into the animal one more time, is a lot of people have pets at home, whether it's goldfish, turtles, different types of bunnies, gerbils, whatever they have. Take a fish, for example. What's the best way to can you just take it over to Lake St. Clair and let it go?
Absolutely not. The DNR frowns on that, and especially moving of any kind of live bait. You know, sometimes it's even leeches. You know, they don't want you taking them to certain areas.
Really?
It could be because of the parasites in them. It could be because you're introducing it to a water body that doesn't have them in there. Prime example, you know, people say, oh man, look at all these beautiful pheasants.
Sure.
They're not native. They're from China. They were brought over here. They end up doing well. You know, and people think, well, pheasants are native.
Pheasant,
no, they're
really?
not. They're not native, you know.
That's something I never
They were
knew.
able to adapt, and they didn't displace anything we have. The problem lies is when you bring in non-natives and turn them loose, and they start displacing your natives, be it either a plant or be it an animal. A lot of the pet stores have a variety of different turtles and things. One of them is a red-eared slider. Well, that's not native either, but we have so many red-eared sliders in our waterways now that they're almost like pheasants.
Just from people letting them go.
Pet stores getting them, kids tired of them, in the water, gone. We'll just turn them loose. It's a turtle. Look, it's a painted turtle. No. Now we're starting to get yellow-eared sliders and cooters and stuff, which are Missouri and some of these southern turtles. They're a little bigger turtle. What's going to be the fallout because of that, you know? So anytime...
Well, that's probably the factor is the unknown, what's going to happen.
The unknown, exactly.
Now, a lot of times bunnies, people get them, obviously, and, you know, they're so cute, and, of course, a month or 2-3 months later, now they want to get rid of them. So or let's say the bunny's a year old, has gotten too big. What's going to happen with the bunny? They just let them go out in the woods?
Every year or two, we get people that will release a domestic rabbit in the park. It's very inhumane because this rabbit has no defense mechanisms. They're owls, dogs, coyotes, foxes. We have all those in the park and the surrounding. That rabbit has no defense mechanisms.
And obviously hasn't learned how to hunt for its own food.
Yeah, and most domestic rabbits, they're not brown. They're white and black and mulatto colors, you know, and they're even more to disadvantage, you know. Inevitably, that rabbit is going to
And not make it.
No. That's a nice way of putting it, Joseph, not make it. There are organizations out there, Rabbit Rescue is one of them. There are rescue organizations that will take these non-natives, you know what I mean, and domestic animals and place them.
So if you have a turtle at home that's gotten too big, what's the best way to get rid of it?
The best way is to call a nature center and see if they can use it as a teaching tool,
Okay.
or maybe they can trade it back to a pet store if it's not too big to be put back in the system. But do not release it into the waterways, you know. Maybe our nature center has a bunch of teen volunteers. They take quite a few of our non-native animals because they know the importance of not reintroducing it. And they're nature-oriented kids. They like
they'll
them.
take them home and
exactly,
care
and then
for
they'll
them,
bring
yeah.
them back to certain programs, you know, that we teach with because they become their pets, you know.
Very good.
So it's kind of neat. Very good.
All right. Do you have a special guest for us today?
I do have a special guest for us today, Joe. A little while back, we had a situation where this gentleman got loose, and unfortunately,
I assume he didn't get too far away.
he did not get too far away. We just caught him last week. He was in the
Oh
room.
my
He
gosh.
came out at night. This is Checkers. It's a corn snake. It's not a native Michigan snake, but it's a great teaching aid. They're very laid back. They actually like interactions with humans. The more you pet and hold them, the better they are. Not known to be a biter.
You know, you actually caught me off guard.
I did. It's not a turtle, Joe.
No.
I did say a turtle. I couldn't find a turtle, so I brought the corn snake. We do have several natives at the Nature Center. A couple of them are the nervous species, the water snake, you know, and we do have little browns, not nervous, garter snakes, not nervous. But kids love these because they're beautiful. They're easy to take and maintain. You feed them once a week.
It is very pretty.
You know, people think it's slimy. See how shiny it is? It's not shed not too long ago. That's how we found him. A lot of sheds were in my office, so I'm thinking it's got to be around here somewhere. Came back in the evening. He's out on the prowl looking for mice. Boom, caught Checkers and brought him back. There's a big problem in Florida. Burmese pythons. People are getting too big. People are turning them loose in the Everglades. Now we're having a problem with them really having an impact on the native wildlife that's in the Everglades. So before you ever get a pet, Do a little research. No matter what it is, find out how long it lives. We have turtles that live over 100 years. It's going to wear off within 6 months, and you're stuck with a turtle that's living 100 years. You know, so have an ethical disposal plan.
Right.
Check with nature centers to find out, you know, if they can use this animal or trade it to some other educator or to a pet store to keep it in the system and not turn it loose in the wild.
Now, what type of snake is this again?
This is a corn
You
snake.
mentioned it when and I was a little startled when you first brought it up.
It's a corn snake.
Okay.
It's not native to Michigan. There's got to be
Does
100
it have
different-
teeth?
All snakes have teeth. Some have longer teeth and shorter teeth. This has teeth. It's a constrictor, but the teeth aren't venomous. They're not sharp.
Okay.
They're not sharp.
So
they are
you-
sharp, but not long.
Has he ever bit anyone?
They'll bite, but this one's not known to bite. It hasn't bit yet.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it doesn't use its mouth to catch prey. You know, it'll grab
You
the
can see
prey.
he's trying to wrap around
Yeah,
your
it's a
arm.
constrictor. It eats mice, birds, anything that it'll catch, and all of a sudden it'll just coil around it, constrict it, squeeze it, suffocate it.
Now, is it strong enough when it goes around your arm that it can actually, you can feel it getting pretty tight?
You can feel the strength in this, Joe, and you know that it's muscles. It is a constrictor. A lot of people would take boas and stuff.
Just watch his head. I don't want to scare him.
Okay. But they'll take boas and they'll put them around people's necks and stuff. Well, you don't realize that the muscles in a boa constrictor, it can actually cut off your hair supply. You can feel the strength in that.
Holy cow.
So it's a constrictor, but wonderful snake.
So he's not venomous?
Not venomous.
Okay.
Not aggressive. Not nervous.
Now,
Great as an educational tool.
does he sense if somebody's nervous holding him?
No.
Okay. So I'll try and hold him for a second if you don't mind.
Not a
Is
problem.
there any- I don't want to hurt his neck like
No,
a baby.
you're not going to hurt them. They're one of the better snakes in the pet
God.
industry. I had a snake phobia for years, and
That's why I can't believe you brought one, because I didn't
well,
think
when
you
I
liked
first started
snakes.
holding them, I decided I had to work on it. I'll hold a scorpion and tarantula all day long, but you know, when it comes to snakes, this is why I don't do snakes. Well, I got to where I get close to them and look at them and observe them and watch them, and then I started holding them with gloves.
Yeah.
There's still snakes I won't hold. I'm not going to hold a boa, and there's some other ones I just don't hold. But the corn snakes, and if you're looking at the fox snake or something, easy to hold, very laid back. We also promote with the kids when they hold them and stuff. Don't put any animal's head by your face.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you know when they could bite. They're an animal.
Right.
You know, but if you keep the heads away from your face, I mean, they're neat. You know.
Well, you got to be careful. You know, for example, on YouTube, you see a snake, you know, that's been holding it, probably been handled it 500 times, and all of a sudden it attacks
And today it
them.
hits you. Yeah, exactly. You know, but it's a very laid back snake. Kids love this snake. They love holding this snake. We have one at the Nature Center. We're soon to have two. We're going into our camp season and our summer rec seasons where we'll actually go to sites and we'll take a lot of our species. But usually one of the last ones out is a corn snake, and the kids just love it.
Look at the skin on here. I mean,
Yep.
it's just amazing. I don't think
You
the
look
camera
at the
can get a good
bottom and you'll
shot
see
at
the
it. It's
different
like-
blotches.
This is the bottom here, and just to see the.
It actually looks a little bit like Indian corn. You know, like you would
hence
see
the
in
name
fall.
checkers.
You know, checkers,
Yeah.
corn snake.
Yeah.
You find them around
But
corn.
I'm saying that's where we got the name checkers from.
That's what they
yeah.
got them as checkers. That's what they named them for. But they hang around corn cribs because of mice, corn snake. Cousins to the black rat snake, blue racers. You know, they're in the same family group.
Yeah.
But a very, very beautiful snake. He just shed. I mean, and the colors in this is just
Yeah, it is.
just radiant, man.
I haven't touched a snake since I was a kid. We used to look gardener snakes around the house.
Yep. Which, you know, they'll bite too. I mean, at the Heron Festival, we caught 3 females that were pregnant, you know, big females, and one of them actually turned around and bit Jeremy on the wrist.
Really?
Yep, and then within 5 minutes, no more biting, all acclimated. I mean, it was a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
What's got me, you know? But really laid back. It's actually one of our better snakes since this weekend. It's just awesome.
So he looks like he's always looking to latch onto something for the most part.
Well,
you
because
know?
they will hang around branches, hang around the
yeah.
sides. And these things will actually, if there's any kind of texture to a wall, they can actually climb the wall because you can feel, you know, on the scales, Joe, where they have edges. I mean, take your finger and go backwards on some of these scales and you'll feel.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they'll take their muscles and go up and they'll hook those scales on and go and muscle texture. And I had snake sheds on my desk last week.
Really?
Yeah, we found them on late last week, but earlier in the week when he shed, there was up on my printer, there's all kinds of pieces of snake
So you
shed.
knew he was around.
Yeah, and on the desk, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but very laid back snake, good snake. You see, he keeps sticking his tongue out. He's tasting the air. We don't suggest anybody handling them and when they're shedding because their eye cups get dark. And usually take your mouse and you drop it in. Well, when you're putting your hand in to grab the snake, it could be thinking you're dropping the mouse in. You could get accidentally bit, you know. But for the most part, feed him once a week.
He's getting a little nervous.
Who? You with
The
snakes?
snakes. You see, he's getting a little skittish.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm with you, boss.
Well, that's great. That's an experience. Now, for myself, that I'm not a snake lover, meaning I'm a little scared of handling snakes.
They'll startle you.
Definitely. Can anyone come to the Nature Center and handle the snake along with the assistance of you
Absolutely.
or a staff person there?
We have a bunch of animals that we'll get out for the children.
Okay.
In our birthday parties, we get out various animals too.
Yeah,
We just
I'm sure
recommend that
people
you
will
don't,
love that.
yeah, you don't use a flash when you're dealing with snakes and stuff.
Okay.
You know, because it's not advisable. It's
That
not
could
good for the
startle
snakes
them?
and stuff. Yeah, it's just not something we do. You know.
That's wonderful, Carrie.
But great teaching aid. Kids love them, you know. And one thing I would like to stress before we do, kids in the summer love to catch frogs, snakes, crickets, and things. Excuse me. By all means, catch them. Enjoy them. Observe them for a day or two or three. But the most important thing is remember where you caught it and put it exactly back where you caught it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I stress with my son. You know, by all means, catch these things, but make sure you identify it first. Catch it, enjoy it, put it back where you find it. Just keep it a few days and put it right back, you know?
Right.
And that way you don't have to worry about feeding it, cleaning its cage or nothing. And you get a chance to enjoy it and actually see it up close, you know. But put it back
Now,
where
once
you
again,
find
where would you find a corn snake at?
it. They're on the East Coast.
Okay.
They are in some of our almost Midwest states, you know, like Kentucky. Some in the southern Ohio and Indiana and stuff, you know, but they're pretty much a southern climate and southeastern climate type snake, you know.
See, that's the thing. If I saw that snake in the wild, my first thought would be it's venomous, poisonous, you know, just by the look of it, just because it looks, you don't see that too
Yes.
often. You
A
know?
lot of people confuse different snakes. Well, look, it's got diamonds on its back. Look at the diamonds on its back. No, it's just a blotch, you know.
Yeah.
People will see a hognose snake, totally harmless. It'll lay over and play dead. It's got a diamond-looking thing on its back. Oh, it's a rattlesnake, gotta kill it.
Right.
You don't have to kill every snake. Just stay back and observe them first.
I mean, it is absolutely with the light shining. It's just beautiful. I mean, that's amazing.
We get at least 2 or 3 calls a year on water moccasins that they saw in the park. It's not a water moccasin. Water moccasins do not live up here, cannot live up here. It is a water snake, northern water snake. Now, are they a little nervous and excited? Yes. Will they bite? Oh, yeah. They will run, but if you corner them and trap them, they will bite.
Sure.
They have that
many
that
animals,
look, that dark, flat look, you know, of a cottonmouth, you know, a water moccasin. But for the most part, too many people are killing some of these beautiful creatures because they're thinking it's some kind of a venomous, dangerous, nasty snake, when actually it's doing you a service. We had no mice in the Nature Center in the past month. He's been missing. That's a good thing, Joe. That's a very good thing.
That is wonderful.
You know, because, you know, mice carry diseases and they're dirty, you know.
So if you want to get rid of mice in your house, just have a
Yeah, just borrow somebody's corn snake and
corn snake,
cut
just
them
let
loose
it
for a
go
week, you know. But don't be alarmed if you wake up and he's no, I'm just teasing.
Well, Carrie, I appreciate you bringing out the corn snake. What a great treat having him on the show today. Anything else you'd like to add at the Nature Center before we close it out?
Just a couple upcoming programs.
Okay.
We have the nesting bird program that's coming up on the 31st. It's a free program from 10 to 11:30, and we also have the River Day program coming up on June 7th, and that's a free program also.
Wonderful.
We'll actually be going down to the river and looking at various insects that are along the Clinton River, and trust me, there's lots of
Just
them.
walking along the trails.
Along the trails, along the river.
Very good.
But they can call the Nature Center for information.
Awesome.
Both free events.
Well, thanks a lot, Carrie, for being on again, and thank you for your love of nature and all you do at the Nature Center. We appreciate it.
It's all good, Joe.
All right, thank you. And thank you for watching Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. Please remember, here at Shelby Parks and Rec, we create community through people, parks, and programs. Thanks for watching.